Skoda is bringing back the iconic Octavia RS. It's something enthusiasts have been waiting for, and now it's confirmed it is coming to India. Of course, it's coming in limited volumes as an import, but of course, this is a car that always has a long queue of people. And we've seen the response to previous Octavia RSs. And talking to me about this, the new model, and Skoda's India's future plans, we have with us the head of Skoda India, Ashish Gupta. Ashish, firstly, congrats
Yeah.
on Skoda. Before we start off, Skoda is 130 years old,
Yes.
one of the oldest car brands in the world. So, congratulations
Thank
on that
you.
and on Skoda's 25 years in India.
And Hormazd, we were just talking before we started this. What an amazing coincidence! 130 years of Autocar UK and 26 years of Autocar.
That's
So I
right, yeah.
think our futures are linked to legacy and futures
Absolutely.
are linked very closely
Absolutely.
together.
I know, in fact,
Yeah.
Autocar
Yeah.
on November 2nd will be celebrating 130 years. It's the first
Yeah.
oldest car magazine in the world. But yeah, and I think, just looking at Skoda's journey, which
Yep.
we've tracked right from the beginning, we started with the Octavia.
Exactly.
So I think Octavia, a strong brand in itself, an image shaper, and the Octavia was the model that launched Skoda in India
Yeah.
in a pretty successful way. So what are the expectations from the RS? Because quite frankly, it's not locally assembled, it's CBU
Yeah.
import, so small volumes. So just your opening thoughts on what are your expectations from the RS this time?
No, definitely. As you mentioned, Hormuz, it's been 25 years for Skoda in India, and I think the entire 25 years are defined by the car we entered with, yeah, the Octavia. I remember, the kind of legacy the Octavia has, and I had just started my career back in 2001. Couldn't have been afford a car at that point of time, naturally, but just seeing the Octavia on the roads, that was a dream car for me, so the 25 years of Skoda in India are synonymous with Octavia. It has a huge legacy, not only in India, worldwide as well. And also the Octavia RS. We came with the Octavia to India in 2001. The first RS landed in India in 2004. There have been many iterations of the RS globally, the world over, and this is the fifth generation. So we wanted to just carry forward, and in the 25 years of Skoda in India and 130 years globally, we wanted our fans to also have a taste of the pinnacle of Skoda's engineering, the Octavia RS.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Ashish, Octavia RS, limited volumes because
Yeah.
it's a CBU. Price will obviously be high. So, clearly, the impact from a sales point of view, not very large, more from, let's say, image and things
Yep.
like that. But, earlier in the past, there's been a lot of stop and start with your CBUs.
Yep.
They come in batches, then it stops, then it starts again. So, will there be a continuity with the RS right until things? So, what's the strategy that way? Because clearly, the CBU strategy allows you to just do it in batches, and sometimes there's a worry the continuity won't be there.
No, I think what is important to understand also is that these decisions are also influenced heavily by the policy framework. Yeah.
Right.
You've seen the kind of uncertainty there has been about the FTAs, the CBU quotas, the various regulations application to CBUs. So that does lead to a little bit of uncertainty on every manufacturer side, not only us, in terms of what could be a more sustainable strategy. But having said that, I think we are very clear that we have a very strong portfolio in India of locally produced cars with the Kailak, Kushaq, Slavia, and the Kodiaq. And we would like to continue to give customers a taste of our global portfolio now,
Right.
with the Octavia RS, and more to come next year. Yeah? Not only on Octavia, other models from our global portfolio, including some more RS versions.
Right. No, just to understand
Yeah.
your strategy for the CBUs,
Yeah.
there's one way of bringing it under that, the homologation free route.
Yes.
And homologation as well. So, what route are you going to be choosing on this? And are there still some issues because, you've got certain ADAS features over there which don't work here.
Yeah.
You've got the whole E20 issue, which is again complicating it even for CBUs.
Yeah. No, I think, if you look at it, currently the batch that we are bringing in, we are bringing it under the GSR 870, the
Right.
non-homologation route, because I think the pricing, because of the tax structure, still doesn't allow you to sell volumes of such cars.
Right.
But having said that, I think with the UK FTA and hopefully the EU FTA, there may be a path ahead to actually homologate some FBUs and bring them in higher volumes. So
Right.
that is what we are also anticipating. That is what we are looking forward to. And if that allows us to bring more volumes and have a more sustainable strategy, We would love to do that.
Right. But on GSR 870,
Yeah.
are there still a few challenges? I think it has to be E20 compliant
Yeah.
irrespective. So, and you've got certain, as I said, the features in Europe which may not work here, but there's a little bit of a challenge over there as well.
No, definitely. I think over the last 4 or 5 months, the E20 topic application on GSR 870 was a little bit of an uncertain topic, but we have settled it.
Right.
We had very constructive discussions with the government, with the involved ministries. And I think the understanding is very clear that, if you have a certification in Europe for E20 compliance, or either you can test it in India and get
Right.
the E20 compliance certificate, then every other rule of it, GSR 870 applies. So we have been able to do that. We have, been able to apply our E20 certification from Europe in India. Those certificates have been submitted.
Right.
So no concerns from that point of view.
Right. And, while on the topic of E20, it's a
Yeah.
hot topic now, and I've got you there over here. Concerns fundamentally on warranty of the cars,
Yeah.
of your products.
Yeah.
Let's say there are 2.0 cars and there are pre-2.0 cars.
Yeah.
Where does Skoda India stand with, let's say, the warranties and supporting customers who fear slight degradation of older cars with E20 fuel?
I think, first of all cars made by Skoda in India from April 20 or sold by Skoda from April 1, 2021 are actually E20 compliant. Yeah, so they have been tested for E20. They are material compliant. We stand by the warranties. The standard warranties are applicable for those cars. So no worries for any customer in terms of warranty application for cars produced after April 1 or sold after April 1st, 2021. In fact, even cars before that, even though they might say E10 or E5, however, they have been tested for material compatibility. Yeah?
Right.
So I don't think there is any concern in terms of E20 application on our cars.
Right. That's good to know, I think, because that's the main worry, concern. I mean, of course, fuel efficiency is going to be a drop that everyone faces, but the main worry was on this. And I guess just pressing on this, the part replacement, is it going to be very costly, or just some rubber parts which
No, see, I've not gone into too much details of it, to be honest, Hormazd. Material compatibility, when we say material compatibility means the entire chain of parts where E20, whether in the supply line, in the input line, or the
which
output,
are impacted by
which are impacted, are tested for it, are compliant.
Right, great. Coming back to the Octavia, Ashish, let's say it's going to be expensive. It's going to be limited volume. So just wanted to get your sense. You've got the benefit now of GST as well, which clearly has come at the right time.
Yeah.
What are your expectations volume wise? I'm saying pricing, we're going to estimate will be around the 50 lakh mark, because I think that's a pretty fair assumption. So just your thoughts on
No, I think, I'm not looking at selling this car. In fact, this car is not being actually handed over to our sales team at all. Yeah.
Right.
So this car, actually, I've given it to my communication and marketing team. This is your job.
Right.
If the sales team has to get involved in these limited volumes, then we have lost it already. Yeah?
Right.
So I think, the interest from customers for this Legend is huge. We already have a huge order bank available with us. Customers are waiting for it. So I'm just looking forward to getting it into their hands.
Right. And I think clearly, as a sedan, as a four-door, as a performance sedan, in a way it is unique. Of course, there's a Golf GTI, but that's a hatchback. I mean, different kind of thing. Even this is, but this is the Octavia. So, from the people who are looking at it, how much of it is the RS badge and how much of it do you think is the Octavia badge? Or is it a combination of both?
No, I think it is a combination of both. First of all, it is the Octavia, which itself is a legend in the Indian automotive industry and globally as well. And on top of it, you have the RS badge, which I think adds a lot of sheen to it. The Rally Sport, which is the full form of RS, is a badge of honor. Is a shining star in terms of the legacy that the RS or it carries for Skoda. So that is, I think, something which adds a little bit more sheen, or a lot of more sheen on the Octavia.
Right. And Ashish, looking at the Octavia as a mainstream sedan, like it was earlier, What are the limitations in bringing it back, at least as a CKD like you did earlier? Is it a cost issue? Are there regulations? Or is it the fact that even, where it's produced in Europe, it just makes it a little impractical and not feasible to bring it here? Because obviously
Yeah,
looking at a mainstream Octavia would be something which also I'm sure a lot of customers look forward to. And
definitely.
that goes for the Superb as well,
Yes,
because
yes,
there
yes.
is really no replacement for the Superb.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people who are just hanging on to their Superbs because there is no new Superb coming. So
Exactly.
really a bit of a loss over there,
Yeah.
because these are two iconic sedans which are not here in the market.
No, definitely. And I think, we would love to get those cars into India. But if you look at the cost base of these cars in Europe right now, the supply chain, and in terms of, the taxation that
And
applies
the
on,
euro at 103
yeah,
rupees now.
103, the FX rates as they are right now, it becomes impractical.
Right.
It becomes impractical to be launching them at the prices that we would be forced to launch these cars at. Yeah.
Right.
So for the love of bringing these cars, I would definitely keep on getting limited batches as FBUs, but as parts and components, it's becoming more and more difficult to get the cars into it.
Right. And any thoughts on the Superb? I mean, any kind of plans on as an FBU? Do you think there's any scope for that? Maybe, diesel variant or some
No,
other
I said
variant?
this right at the onset that, it is the first of our FBU cars, the Octavia RS, that is coming in, more to
Right.
come next year.
Right.
And hopefully that will involve the car you are speaking about.
Fantastic. Yeah, good. You've given a good hint over there. So clearly,
Yeah.
I think people do want that. But again, as you rightly said, which you've had the experience in the past with Octavia and Superb, that the CBU for a mainstream car doesn't work. So it'll
Exactly.
have to be some sort of a compelling proposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and just looking again overall sedan segment, where you've been pretty strong. Traditionally started off again with the Octavia, then you had the Rapid. Of course, SUVs are, let's say,
The flavor of the
the
season,
month.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you think on, let's say, the sedan segment? And clearly, y'all are pushing quite hard there, and it is declining. But is the decline largely due to lack of choice, or the customer trend still going towards SUVs?
I think, to a large extent, it is because the customer trend and the customer preferences have moved towards SUV. And it is not only in case of sedans, it is also in case of hatchbacks.
Correct.
If you look at even the A00 SUV segment, the sub 4 meter, actually now the sub 4 meter SUVs is a larger segment than hatchbacks.
Right.
Yeah? So the trend is not only in India, globally is definitely towards SUVs, and that is affecting sedan sales as well. But having said that, it is a combination of limited choices right now for customers. If you look at the premium sedan segment in India, there are hardly 3 or 4 choices left.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, I think from a manufacturer's point of view, also SUVs definitely provide a better margin structure.
Correct.
Yeah? So from a business point of view and from a customer preference point of view, the trends are moving towards SUVs.
I think the combination of both, the business and the customer, SUVs is the formula.
Yeah.
Right. But again, with Slavia, from what I understand, there's a lot of plans for it, future facelifts to keep the model line going for quite some time.
Sure.
So what can we expect, let's say, from products like the Slavia going forward? Yeah?
No, I think the Slavia itself is a strong product, and if you look at that segment, there is hardly anybody else which offers 2 options in turbo engines. You have the 1-liter turbo, you have the 1.5, then you have the manual 6, then the 7-speed automatic torque converter, then the DSG.
Right.
So in
three
terms
transmission
of
options,
3 transmission options, 2 engine options. So it's a quite a nice setup in terms of various offerings for the customers, whether you like comfort, whether you like driving dynamics, or whether you like performance. So everything is available. I think very well equipped in interiors as well. Quite premium interiors. Very well equipped in terms of infotainment. Yeah, all the bells and whistles that you could ask for are there. But time moves on, and people want more. Yeah, so that's our objective as well. That how can you keep the cars current, not only in terms of exterior refresh, but also interior and equipment refresh. So that's what we are working on.
Right. And talking on the GST, let's say reduction, I think it's quite historic. Never seen taxes going down, and as a result, car prices going down. Clearly, I think the Kailak stands to benefit the most, because 18% and at a price point where the delta in price drop is the maximum. So what is your outlook with this, and are you now bullish that this will have a direct impact on sales?
No, I think, as you said, it's a historic moment. I'm now 50 years old, and in first time in my 50 years, at least, I have heard car prices going down for the first time. Yeah, so
Right.
that is the nature or the impact of this occasion that is happening in India. If you look at the entire segments in the A00 SUV segment, the GST rate plus cess drop is around 11%, which translates to around 8.5% price drop.
Right.
On top of that, you get a drop in your insurance premiums, your
Right.
road
Right. Those
taxes. Yeah,
cascades.
cascades. So it's around 10 to 11% price drop on the Kailak. On an ex-showroom level itself, the
Right.
prices drop by up to 120,000 rupees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the Kailak starts at 7.54.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the I think the scale at which this transformation is going to take place. It will bring a lot of new buyers into buying new cars. Yeah. It will bring a lot of fence sitters to make the decision now,
Right.
and the timing of this itself is, I think, super.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just before the festive season.
festive. We as industry guys always crib about, oh, this should have happened a little bit later, or
Yeah.
there should not have been time gap between the first announcement and
Right.
implementation, because to be honest, last 1 month has been
Yeah.
depressing.
But this is a one-shot fatka, so to speak,
Yeah.
and now you can look on to
Yeah,
better
so,
times.
so
Yeah.
that's what we are looking for, and I've always said that along with selling cars, we also sell hopes and dreams.
Right.
We all live in hopes and dreams. So this is the season of hope and dreams that Indian customers can fulfill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ashish, last question. You've been now, let's say, over 100 days in Skoda India.
Yeah.
So, how's it been for you? I mean, what are your, let's say, goals, ambitions? Obviously,
Yeah.
to grow volumes. And I think what's been the main focus? Is it really doubling down on the network? Because that, frankly, is really the key to really expanding volumes, sales, and really kind of maximizing the brand reach as well.
I think, before I look externally as a principal, I always look internally. Hormazd. And I think last 3 to 4 months has been about getting the team in one direction, getting our strategies clear, getting our go-to-market plans right, and to sum it up, having a clarity of vision and execution.
Right.
You can have a goal in front of you, this is what I want to achieve, but if you don't define the path,
Right.
it will not happen. So the goal and the path to achieve it has to be very, very clear, and I think that's been my focus for the last 4 months, giving a very clear direction and making sure that we stick to that plan to the T. Yeah?
Right.
Of course, there are a lot of flexibilities that we bring in. I have a brilliant team. I have a bunch of 60, 65 brilliant people with me who have a lot of ideas. But I think getting all those plans together and making them work in one direction has been the focus for the last 4 months. We set out our strategy based on 3 pillars of relevance, differentiation, and trust.
Right.
Very anally we have worked on these three pillars. Getting relevant with our new price points, with now being present in 177 cities. In the last 4 months itself, we have gone into 20 new cities. Yeah?
Right.
Getting your product plans right, getting your communication right in terms of differentiation. We've just started our Fans Not Owners campaign, which has got a lot of love. The Doda film, is getting a lot of love from customers and dealers. So changing the way you communicate, touching raw emotions in customers, getting emotionally connected regionally as well as nationally, and also establishing trust. And like the launch of the Octavia RS is also an effort in that direction.
Right.
How do you keep the trust of the customers that we are here for them, we are here for the long term, and we will always continue to try to give them the best.
Right. And I mean, I think also you've been meeting a lot of dealers.
Yes.
From what I understand, I was there at the FADA conclave just before CM, and I'll be honest, a lot of dealers were happy you're there in the thing. I mean, they even went to say, I mean, I'm going to say, they've said that an Indian knows how to sell to Indians. So I think clearly there are a lot of nuances in this business, which I'm sure I think is very critical. I mean, you can do something in terms of, let's say, a spreadsheet or a project report, but finally, it's the nuances that make the difference.
No, it is definitely. And I think, over in the last 4 months in my interaction with dealers, that's something which I have also picked up. I think they are very comfortable talking to me. I think, at least as a personality, I feel I'm approachable, although my team doesn't agree. But at least from the dealer's point of view, I like to interact with them. I like to understand what they are thinking. And my approach is always that management is not reactive. Management has to be proactive. Yeah?
Right.
So that's my only mantra in management, that you have to be proactive. You have to anticipate what is going to happen and plan for any scenario that can come up.
Right.
Case in point is this GST thing, and everybody in the entire team and in the fraternity and the dealers were very uncertain what is going to happen.
Well, the cess issue is still not sorted.
It's not still sorted now, but how to tackle it, but I feel that we as managers, we can only show true leadership in times of uncertainty.
Right.
Yeah, when times are certain, anybody can shine. In times of uncertainty is when people look for leadership, and that's I think something which I hold very dear. We should always be proactive and anticipate what is going to happen.
Right. Well, Ashish, congratulations, and look forward to another successful launch.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you.
the Octavia RS is something I'm looking forward to,
Sure.
especially driving. And
One is reserved for you.
and taking it to Mahabaleshwar.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.